can't stinking believe it. Look at that. That's a good one. Solid. And I dropped him.
7 days they complete construction and per pound got traced.
Well, I'm on the way up to the deer processors. It's December 14th. It's the day after the last day of late bow. So these are the 2 Euro mounts that I got this year from those 2 deer. They almost look like they could have been brothers. You know? Somewhat. About a year apart. This one's a little thicker. All right. This guy was heading in that direction. This one here was done with beetles. I went up to Chippewa Bay to get that done, and it turned out real nice. It took about month and a half. This one was boiled, and that took about a week, maybe 5 days or something like that. And that turned out real nice. Happy with both of them, you know. I'm happy with everything, you know. I think back about how the season started and how I had lost all my land, you know. And you remember I was talking about being faithful in the small things, and God will take care of you, you know. And then He knows that you'll be faithful in the big things. So that was my whole thing this year. I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to get a deer. I had never gotten a buck before in my life. And I got these 2, and then I got this one here on the last night, you know, which again, I had said I had never seen a deer on the last night of hunting. To be honest with you, in the past, I've never had any luck on the final day. Nothing. Never seen a deer on the final day. So that's not real promising. Last night I saw 2. I got a shot on both of them. You know, and I give all the glory to God, man. I mean, I pray. You know, that's what I did last night. I said, Lord, you know, it's been a tough season. You know, a little tight on the food this year. Could you bring something in for me, you know? And sure enough, He did. You know, and then I said, hey, I lost all my land. Can you help me out and bring me in something? He brought in 2 8s, man, basically in my backyard during the hunting season. I mean, it's just unreal. So I'm here to tell you, and this is not a cliche, prayer works. You know, and why does it work? It's because God is real, man. This here's one of the other properties that I have. Is actually connected to the same woods as that spot behind my house. You know, and it's just up the road a little bit. You know, it's probably a quarter of a mile, maybe a half a mile up the road. Same woods. I'm here to get my spy point that's been over here. This trail camera I've had over here for about, I don't know, close to 3 weeks, and I have gotten about 2 deer on it, and they almost never show up. One of them is this spike. Now, in the past, on both these properties here, I've had probably 5 deer that were big, husky, big-bodied deer. One of them, actually last year, I ended up shooting him twice, and he still lived. But he was a bruiser, huge deer. He looked like he had that grays all on his face and everything, you know, and then but he had just these straight little, you know, I don't even spike deals, you know what I mean, just one antler coming up, they come up quite a ways off in the top of their heads. So they were this group of deer that just wasn't developing antlers. Don't know if it was a genetic thing or what, you know, and there was a bunch of them, so weeded them out. The one buck that's been showing up over here, I think he's one of them. He's got a decent sized body on him, and absolutely no antlers on him at all. Other than that, I had like one doe show up on this camera. I mean, there is construction going on just over there, just a bit. They're putting in water lines underground, so they got that big ground grinder, you know, and all kinds of big machinery running up this road right here all day long. It's been going. They started right before hunting season. I'm thinking that, you know, I'm guessing that maybe that's the reason it's doing something. I mean, I don't know. They're not bedding here. Normally this is a bedding area because this is a safe spot. Nobody hunts here. No one. So this is the one corner of that big woods that I'm always talking about behind my house. This is way up in the corner and this is a safe spot. Normally this is a bedding area. What happens is they leave here and they head that direction. They walk through the property behind my house, and they're headed to a much nicer area where there's food plots and everything on the other side of that, you know. So that's basically what's happening, or normally happens. This year, no deer over here, none. So this winter and in the spring, I got to figure out how to change that. You know, this is the time of year that I like to make adjustments to my hunting areas. Couple of reasons for that. One of them being that I've been sitting in these stands for 2 months now, you know, and it's fresh in my mind which way the deer come in, and you know, different things that I need to be doing. That's one of the things I think about when I'm staring at nothingness in front of me for days on end. So it's fresh in my mind what needs to be done to the certain areas, and also, you know, my hunting areas are very small. So when I come in there and make changes and stuff, I'm really disturbing the area. So I figure, you know, this time of year, the deer couldn't be any spookier than they are right now. So it's a great time to come in there and make any kind of adjustments that we need to. You know, that hanging stand that I had over at the sand pit. You know, I moved it right next to the bedding area, what I thought was the bedding area, right on the edge of the bedding area, thinking I wanted to get right into the mix of things, you know. And hey, the bottom line was it just didn't produce. I didn't see anything over there at all. I normally pull at least 2 really nice big fat doe out of there, and I didn't get nothing. So it's not working. It's time to move it. So I ended up moving it. I looked around a little bit. I'm still kind of in the bedding area, you know, but I found a really cool spot where there was a couple of really nice big trails. Again, it's kind of and I have a shooting lane. What I like about this spot is it's an awesome tree that I'm in. It's kind of spidered. You know, there's a bunch of different trunks coming out of this tree, and I'm hidden really well. There's a clearing, so there's a good shooting lane, a lot of good shooting lanes, and then you know, heavy travel routes running right through there. So hopefully that'll work. My spot where I had the ground blind, where I normally use the rifle, I didn't use the bow there because it's kind of like a one-man TP style ground blind, and I couldn't draw my bow in there. You know, when I drew my bow, the front of the bow would hit and my back elbow would hit. So what I'm going to do there is I'm basically going to stay in the same spot, but I'm going to get like a 3-person ground blind where there's plenty of room so I can use my bow. I'm going to use my bow there. And then my ladder stand, you know, that's an awesome stand. That is right behind the house, you know, and it's just not being utilized. It's not being utilized at all. That's the one that I've got to try to find, you know. I'm hoping, I'd love to stick that in the middle, or in the corner of a big cornfield somewhere and use it as a rifle. You know, but I got to find that property. But I really would like to get that stand on something where it can be used. That area in the back, I got, you know, Roscoe and Tucker. They're always running around outside. And you turn your back on them for 1 second, and they're running right out back there and peeing all over everything and doing all kinds of, who knows what they're doing out there. I mean, I'm sure the deer are very well aware that they're around, so that doesn't help things any. You know the neat thing about them though is they both are deer finding machines. Tucker, he is a Yorkie Terrier, and I ended up finding out that in the Terrier breed, they're good at tracking. And and of course he's small, he's very small, so he's close to the ground. So, getting a whiff of blood or any sort of secretion after we shoot a deer, it's those times where you make a gut shot, and what ends up happening there a lot is that the guts will actually plug the hole and there'll be absolutely no blood. But there's other things that are coming out. There's other secretions that are coming out, and the dogs will pick it up. So Tucker has found quite a few deer that I would have never found. And then Roscoe just came along like a year ago, and he goes berserk when he has anything to do with deer. I can't have those Euro mounts out at all. He will go and he likes to carry them around in his mouth, and he will rip them apart in a matter of seconds. When anything comes to deer, he goes crazy. Not around, man. He all of a sudden just came right in. Roscoe's going crazy. Hey, knock it off. And he has found a couple of deer for me. So they're both excellent trackers. So they tick me off when they run out back and they ruin my hunting areas, but when they find a deer, we're all good. But this is what I've been doing at this time of year. I think and now I'm coming into that time period where I just settle down, rest and relax, and start making plans for next year.